Hey everyone, this is Clint. I'm slapping together a haphazard video here. You know why? It's because I'm too busy, but in a good way. So I went to printer and a local printer here. Those of you that follow me know that I've used API printing for printing, both downcast installments. But now I thought it would be ideal to have a local printer that I can get all my books printed at the same quality, only if I can get it done at the same quality or better. That's the goal. But what I want to do is cut out freight so I don't have to pay shipping twice because that doesn't help anybody out. So I've been learned all sorts of stuff, and including the difference between 100-pound and 80-pound paper stock. It's funny because you can tell a difference, but you wouldn't think it would matter all that much until it's bound in a book. And then it seems to matter because 100-pound, when you turn those pages, it feels like you're turning 2 pages every time. So I'm all but decided on that. Also, the new cover stock, what was it? Not new finish. They do finishing cover finishes a little differently than API did. And I guess now this has become a printing video. I just meant like a little update, but hear me out. They have this coating called soft touch or something that they do, and it, it essentially, from looking at it, I cannot tell a difference between it and the matte finish that I did. But when you feel it, it is something like it feels soft. It's called soft touch. I don't know what it is, what kind of magic. It almost has like a rubberiness to it, but it is really cool. It's real nice. It makes you just want to touch it. So it's nice. So I'm finishing up some quotes. And if it work, I hope it works out, because what I'd love to do is do videos there. They walked me through the printing facility. I want to like record a video and show you all Fatal being printed. So that was an extremely long intro. I'm so sorry. What I wanted to do is give my 2 cents on the Camilla Zong stuff that went down. I'm not going to get, I want to talk about it. But first off, Fatal is on Indiegogo right now. I'm going to refresh this because I think I'm having another backer. There we go, another backer. We're past $64,000, on our way to 65,000. What I want to do is try and get up to that 70K as quickly as we can. I'm going to see if there's anything that we can do to pull the stops out and try to make this $100,000 campaign. A lofty goal, I know, but this book is worthy of it. I mean, it's fantastic art, great book. Check it out. It's in the link in the description below. All right, so hopping into this. Ethan and your boy Zach did a little live stream, and they talked about a conversation that Ethan had with Camilla Song. The thing is, I saw some of this going down on Twitter, and I wanted to read it all. I was curious as to what, how this conversation went, at least publicly. And then Camilla blocked me. I don't know why. I didn't even make a video about it. I was debating whether or not to even make one, but she blocked me, so I can't see it. So here's the thing. I'm going to call this video something like the new gatekeepers of the industry. I think a lot of people have come to realize that where power used to lie in the comic book industry, they no longer hold power, or they're losing their power very quickly. You could call this the collapse of the industry. I think it's a major disruption of the industry, and the power is essentially shifting into the hands of creators. And among those creators is someone like me, which is actually great. I have control over my own destiny. That's such a great feeling, as long as people are willing to support me. So Ethan brought up something very interesting here in his live stream. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw some of it and I wanted to comment on some. And he said that basically that Camilla Zong wants to be the mirror of Ethan. She wants to be somebody that's helping crowdfunded books happen and sort of be a leader in that space, perhaps. Now, obviously, none of that would amount to being a comic book creator, first off, nor would it also amount to actually crowdfunding your own books. It would be sort of like a power holder or possibly gatekeeper for making professionals turn into indie comic book creators. Now, that's fine and dandy. I have no problem with her doing this, but I have to ask, and I think it's fair to ask, what added value a person in that position brings. Because what you're talking about doing is essentially adding a gatekeeper, and for no other reason other than crowdfunding is intimidating to people that have never done it before. Crowdfunding it's a lot of work. Have you ever done a lot of work in your life though? I bet you have. Nothing in crowdfunding is so like out of the realm of possibilities. Like we're not doing brain surgery or anything here. It's doable, but it does come down to work and working smart. And luckily the smart part of that equation, it's taken out of your hands. Like it's already been done so many times. You just do what you've seen other successful people do. And it comes down to just a lot of work. So I firmly believe that most people, if you're dedicated to doing it, you can do it. If you have a good looking book at the same time, you can do it. So you don't need to be adding more gatekeepers into the equation in order to get your books funded. But it's more of a crutch, I guess, more of a sort of safety mechanism for people that are leaving the industry to do crowdfunding. For some reason, they feel better if they know that a former Kickstarter employee is there to catch them. Now, Camilla made a whole bunch of points in her Twitter comments that annoyed me. Some outright upset me, and that is at the same time that you're denying that there is a blacklist, you are also blacklisting and justifying why blacklists exist. It's maddening. She brought up Jay Lee and how Jay Lee's only mistake was not knowing the context of Comicsgate. But she's already framed that as a mistake. There's no mistake. Would that mean that he should not have done a Cyberfrog cover? Because if he only knew, then he wouldn't have been doing a cover. That is a blacklist. And you're enforcing a blacklist when you send people after someone like Jay Lee for just simply drawing a cover. Okay, so there is a blacklist. Cancel culture, that's the other point. She will be adamant that there is no cancel culture, and at the same time say that people are only canceled, in Jay Lee's case, only canceled because he didn't know the full context, or he shouldn't have been canceled. So you agree that there is cancellations based off of Twitter mobs, and in some circumstances, it's justified. Those are the two things that you're essentially saying. And I'm sorry I don't have quotes. I've been blocked, and it's been busy day. Okay, so one last point I wanted to make, and that was your boy Zach said, I don't know why anybody needs a printer nowadays. I would extend that further and say you don't need a campaign manager these days. It's going to make profit margins even slimmer than they already are. For a lot of the pros that are using crowdfunding, and a lot of them are going to be shamed out of using crowdfunding. I would be surprised, honestly, if Scott Snyder does another crowdfunder anytime soon. I think if he does, it's going to be down the road because of all the people saying, hey, you can afford to pay for this up front. You don't need crowdfunding. It really doesn't matter. Anybody can use crowdfunding. If it's a pre-order system, that's fantastic. Now, I'm always a huge proponent of people talking that disagree. I think that's a positive and good thing. And so the fact that, Ethan had a phone call with Camilla. He had a phone call. That's great. That's fantastic. Does that mean that things in the industry are going to change at all? No, because Camilla is not actually a leader in the industry. She's really trying to put herself into that position, though. So, and the nice thing is that everyone has the choice. So over the next year, I guarantee you, this is my prediction. Okay, there are going to be more and more people trying to find positions of power within the new structure, which is going to move way over to indie comics. Because there's money to be made there, and anytime you have power, I mean, people love power. So there's going to be a whole lot more of that going on. Wouldn't surprise me if crowdfunding, especially like Kickstarter, starts to get a little bit more deeply involved with that kind of stuff as well, and buying on to some of the ideas about what crowdfunding should and should not be. I expect that could happen because Kickstarter doesn't really care enough about profit. Indiegogo does seem to care about profit and not about the politics and stuff. So I don't see things changing there yet. But you know, time will tell. So those are my thoughts on the situation. Again, I apologize. I feel like I could have had a more well prepared video, but I just wanted to go over some of my thoughts there. If you haven't backed Fatal, check it out. Please support us. Getting to 2,000 backers would be the goal, really. That's kind of what we need to make it happen as far as $100,000 campaign. So get in there, help us support the campaign. And I promise you, we will turn around and give you a very, very nice book. And thanks. I'll see you in the next video.